All right, what is going on today? So, in today's video, I got to chat with Sean Park, a.k.a. Sparky, a.k.a. at Sparky's World on Instagram, which I'm going to throw down below. And we basically just got to chat about, working out being a fundamental, habit or activity, or just having it be kind of like a fundamental part of your life. He says as normal as just drinking coffee in the morning. So we also got to speak about, using it as a tool to get through some tough times. And we also spoke about, just depression and mental health in general, and being authentic and being true to yourself. So without further ado, go and check out Sparky on Instagram. Like I said, Sparky's World, and enjoy this conversation because I know I did. And one more thing. If you guys are liking these interviews that I'm doing and you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can get notified when I release these interviews every single week. If not, just watch this video and enjoy. Boom. Bang. We are recording here with Sean Park, a.k.a. Sparky. He is a competitive bodybuilder, personal trainer, an entrepreneur. Sparky, Sean Park, why don't you give yourself a little introduction? Tell people where they can find you on Instagram, on social media, what you're about.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Trainer Sparky, Sean, whatever you want to call me. It's all good. My Instagram is Sparky's World. It's not an S, it's with a Z. And a little bit more about myself. I'm a personal trainer. I was really into bodybuilding for like a good chunk of my career, but now I'm like switching, I'm transitioning. I just want to look good and just feel good. I think that's the most important key aspects. And I've known you from working at Nash, and that's how we became friends and stuff too, right, Mark?
Yeah, 100%. Awesome, man. And so you've been a trainer for what? You started in 2017, was it?
I transitioned in 2016.
2016?
Yeah.
But you were working out long before that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I started working at Nash at 2015 as a sales rep.
Okay, so what made you want to like switch over to being like a personal trainer instead of just like working out for your own personal stuff?
Switch from a sales rep to a personal trainer?
Yeah.
Man, I hated sales, bro. Like, I hated the cubicle office. I hated making phone calls, and like, I hated like the ALARC, the sales tactics. That's why I wanted to switch to become a personal trainer. And little did I know, it was pretty much the same shit. Same shit.
Sales is everywhere, man.
Yeah, sales is everywhere, but I just like the fact that I was inside the gym, not in the office. So I was interacting with the members. I like that. I like that aspect. But yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, no kidding, man. It kind of comes down in any single business. At the end of the day, you have to generate revenue. Otherwise, you're not really a business, right?
Exactly.
So what made you like kind of gravitate towards fitness in the first place? Like, why'd you start working out?
Oh man, if I had to go way back. So I think I was in grade 8. I lifted my first pair of dumbbells because I got my ass beat real bad in high school. It was very bad. Like, I got my ass kicked, and like I want to become stronger. I think that was like my main motivation. And I signed up at a community center. I'm pretty sure everyone does at start.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything at all. Like, I just did like, if you're a guy, you obviously use arms every day, right? So
yeah.
Started fooling around with that. And I started getting pretty serious after high school. So like around 2011, 2012. I was going to SFU for general science, and I dropped out because like university wasn't it for me. But like I'm Asian, right? So like my parents really kind of forced me to go into science. I didn't even like science, so like I kind of like I tried my best to like do it. But like after 1.5 years, I just really couldn't do it. So like I dropped out, and all I was doing, like I literally like the day before my final, like I was even studying for my freaking like chemistry final. I was like I was in good life working out. So like from there, like I took a little bit of time off, like doing like random jobs here and there. And like in 2015, like I started working at Steve Nash as a sales rep. I didn't even want to be a sales rep. I just want the free membership, right? So like I got the job, and I started working at the gym ever since. Yeah.
Nice, man. And so how do you feel like, obviously you started working out because you just want to be stronger, and like you hear that story quite a bit, like, you know, somehow you have like a physical altercation and then you feel kind of like maybe you lose your self-esteem or you get scared, whatever it is, you want to be stronger. But obviously you and I know there's like way more benefits to, you know, fitness or working out in general. Like, was there anything else that you kind of gained from it?
You know, absolutely. Like at first, it was more physical aspect, right? Because like I got my shit kicked, like I got my ass kicked, so I want to become stronger and hold myself accountable. So like at first, the reason why I started working out was to become strong. But like the more I started working out, there was like way more other benefits, right? Like for example, like physicality wise, then mentally, like you feel good, right? Like after a good solid workout, like you just get a natural high, and like that kind of you kind of have a natural high like throughout the whole day. So like if you work out in the morning, like you're just gonna feel much better throughout the day, regardless if you're having a shitty moment or not.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, it's like it became like a lifestyle. It became like integrated part of my life. So like as if like everyone drinks coffee, like those coffee lovers, right? As soon as you wake up, you want to drink coffee. Like for
That's
me,
me,
it's like,
man.
yeah, like as soon as I wake up, like I want to either go on the stairmaster or just want to get a quick pump to start my day.
Mm-hmm. So how is did COVID impact your business? Did it impact your lifestyle?
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Fuck, I'm pretty sure it impacted everyone, bro, right? Fuck.
So what was business looking like before COVID?
It was doing good. Like it was doing really good. Like I was starting getting good clients, and like I believe it was like the middle of March. That's when like shit hit the fan, right?
Yeah.
Like I started on news, like, you know, the coronavirus, and you know how it went really like viral on news. And like I was working out, I was like, fuck, man, it's like it's all bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Up till like my last day when I was working out at West Coast Iron, and they finalized that they're gonna close down the gym. That's when I realized, okay, shit, this is getting pretty serious.
Yeah. Yeah, man. March 16th was the day I think that like a lot of gyms and restaurants all closed up shop.
Yeah.
I remember that was my last workout in a gym in Steve Nash, Richmond. It was sweet, man.
Yeah,
It was
man.
empty. It was empty. It was just a by myself workout, man.
Fucking sick.
So after COVID hit and everyone was quarantined, did you switch just so you're like completely online right now, but gyms are starting to open up, right?
Yeah, so like, has it been like 3 months since this lockdown?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah,
yeah.
3 full months almost.
So like, yeah, it's been 3 months, and like for me, like I'll be honest, like I had it down too, right? Like I never, like during my 5 years working at Nash up till now, till 2015, I never had a moment where I wasn't at the gym for as long as, like I was always very active, like 5-6 days a week,
Mm-hmm.
days a week at the working out. So I never had a situation where I didn't work out for like a month or 2 months like this. So like I was in the same boat as everyone, and like obviously like as an active guy to a non-active guy, you have to kind of how should I say, kind of get used to the new circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, bro.
No, it's all good, man.
Yeah. So like I wasn't feeling good either. I was kind of depressed. I'm not gonna lie, right? Because like I didn't like the gym is like a big part of my life, and I try to do like try to go outside, get some fresh air, which was really good actually because I haven't been doing that. So I went hiking, which is very therapeutic too. I realized why people hike, and but after a certain point in time, you know, you can't really like nothing beats going to the gym, right? No matter how much you walk outside or how much home workouts you do.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, in terms of online training wise, like I stopped doing that because like for me, like if I can't motivate myself, like how am I supposed to motivate my guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like I was in a period where like I had to motivate myself because I was kind of in a rut, and I was just going outside. I was doing a lot of hiking, and like I just told everyone we're not gonna do online training until the gym starts opening. And it was at the first month and a half, it really sucked because like I'm like stuck in this room now. Like I have all this free time. Like what should I do? I can't work or anything, right? But like after a while, like I started reading and started kind of like finding different ways to stimulate my mind mentally,
Mm-hmm.
because I have all this build up in energy, and which was good. And yeah, trying to stay busy, finding different avenues, trying different things, you know.
Mm-hmm. Me and you were talking before I started recording as well, and we were kind of talking about how you prefer in-person training a lot more, and that's kind of like I wouldn't say unpopular opinion, but it seems that a lot of people want to switch to doing online because they get a lot more freedom, they get a lot more control of where they are, they can do it from home or remotely, whatever they want. But what is it that you kind of like value the most about in-person personal training? Like, why do you like kind of seeing your clients in the gym as opposed to just like through what we're doing right now?
Yeah. Well, for one, I know online training, don't get me wrong, I like it, but if you it's a great way to scale your business, but the thing that online cannot replicate is that social interaction that you have with your clients. Like your clients are paying you good money to help them train, but although they're paying you, I think as a trainer you get the money plus more because you have a conversation with that person, and when you motivate them face to face, like you get a good feeling afterwards that you can't really feel when you're training someone online. No matter how good this Zoom technology is,
Mm-hmm.
like that social interaction is something that I think technology can't replicate, at least anytime soon. And that's the reason why I like in-person training much more.
So like when you get someone to their goal, like what do you normally feel like? Because obviously you're proud for them. Maybe you're proud of yourself because you have those skills, but like what's kind of like the first thing that goes through your head?
Uh, Getting to the, well, like obviously like a self-satisfaction, right? But like at the end of the day, if I know like if my clients stick around with me, they're just gonna see results, and they know that too. But it's just more like uh, my self-satisfaction is for them to feel the same way that I feel about working out, which is like it's just like as if you're having coffee. It's like something that's like that you need every day. If I could see that uh, in the clientele, like that's I feel very satisfied when I see that.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, man, 100%. That was one of the biggest, I wouldn't say disappointments, but one of the biggest things that it kind of resentful about my job was when I cared more about someone's fitness than they cared about it.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Like it hurt me, man. Like it actually hurt me. Like,
Yeah.
I would leave and I'd be driving home and I'd be still thinking about it. It would drive me insane. But like even myself, I fluctuate so much, man, because I wasn't always like this. I didn't
Yeah.
start loving like the gym until I was probably like 18-ish, maybe 19, like kind of same as you, like a little bit later in teens, early 20s. Like what was it that made you feel like, okay, this is something that's fundamental. Like this is something that I need. Like why do you think it is like that? Because obviously you and I didn't view it like that as we were kids and teenagers. Like what made it fundamental for you?
For me, like how I realized that it was I had like a self-reflection about my life up till now. So like I'm 28, so like I sometimes I just like think about, okay, like this guy really needs to stop calling, bro. Sorry. Yeah,
Turn your
so
phone
like
on silent, man.
yeah, sorry, man.
No, it's all good.
Oh,
It's all
okay.
good.
Yeah. So like, I do a lot of self-reflections, and I realize, okay, like, why do I like working out so much? And I didn't know how to answer that question.
Mhm.
But if I had to see my life uh, backwards, all the good stuff, all the bad stuff, I was always working out. And it came to a conclusion where like it kind of grounds me. Like, you know how like it's like my meditation. It's like it's my yoga. Like, you know how yoga, it's like it's all about breathing, right? Breathing, getting kind of like you close your eyes, you breathe from your stomach, and you see your mind think about random things, because all your mind is just random thoughts of things, right?
Mhm.
And like, in order for you to meditate, you have to be in a quiet state where you just sit down and just focus on your breathing, right? That's how they meditate. But for me, I meditate by working out. So like, I don't listen to music when I train, or maybe when I'm doing Stairmaster, but like when I'm actually working out, I don't do any headphones, because for me, I meditate when I'm actually working out, because I kind of have ADHD where like I have to constantly be moving around. So like what I do is when I'm into the zone, like my body's working, like I realize I'm actually meditating because I'm breathing properly,
Mhm.
and I'm aware of all the thoughts that are arising when I'm doing my set, and I'm learning how to let go of those thoughts, learning how to analyze that thought. So for me, it was always like I was meditating this whole time without me realizing it.
That's huge, man. I've never heard that analogy before. Like the
Yeah, yeah,
thoughts being distractions while you're working out.
yeah, exactly. Like, uh, I don't know. You know how like meditation and yoga, you know how they say you have to go into a quiet place so you could kind of focus?
Mhm.
I think you should be in one of the loudest places and try to meditate. I think that's how you're gonna gain more focus, because now you have to constantly put in the effort to focus.
Yeah. And I don't know, like I'm not like a meditation guru or anything like that. I have read a couple books about it and listened to quite a few like podcasts and stuff. I've tried it quite a lot. I've done like apps and whatever YouTube videos stuff. What I find is, if it's like dead silent, it's almost harder for me to do it because it's harder to identify my thoughts,
Exactly.
right? So when if I have like a little bit of background noise, or if I have my window open and there's birds in the background or something there that I know, okay, this is the distraction, then it's easier for me to kind of flush out everything else. Like it's like,
Yeah,
okay, I hear what I'm hearing, and then I can just acknowledge it and let it pass, as
yeah,
opposed to just like sitting there in silence, and then it's just like kind of like a silent chaos, man. Like it's like I can't focus because it's quiet.
yeah, exactly.
And I think that's really important to talk about as well. I guess to mention, you already talked about it, but I got ADHD as well, man. And I like, if you haven't noticed, like look at me, I'm moving around tons. I usually have like a pen in my hand that I'm flicking around. I can't focus mentally unless I'm like somehow stimulated physically.
Yeah,
If I'm not moving, it's hard for me to focus. There kind of needs to be that balance.
exactly. And I'm on the same boat as you too, Mark. And that's the reason why I like working out so much, because like physically you're working out, you're doing your set, but mentally you have to focus on your breathings. And thirdly, you have all these thoughts about, okay, what am I going to do next? What, like, should I do more? Should I do less? What am I going to eat like after this? Like, you have all these thoughts happening, but like as soon as you start working out, you see that, and you learn how to cope with it.
Hmm.
And I think that's one big uh benefit that I got from weight training, is like I know how, like, when my thoughts arise, like what I should do. I should see it, realize it, not suppress it, and notice that it's there. And if I'm feeling anxious, I realize, okay, am I breathing properly? Okay, I'm not breathing properly because I'm so focused on that thought.
Hmm.
And I realized, and I learned all this not from reading books or yoga or anything like that. I learned all this from just fucking working out, bro. right? That's how huge working out became a part of my life, because then I started looking at like yoga. How do you meditate? Hey, shit, like I've been doing that when I was fucking working out. So like everything aligned in place, right?
Mhm.
That's why it became more like, oh, like I wanted to look good. Now it's more like, dude, like I do this because I want to meditate, man.
Mhm. Yeah. And so when did that kind of happen for you? Because when we were working together, and even after, when we kind of went to different locations, we were working at different gyms. Like you were doing you did a competition. You looked awesome, man. Congratulations. Like
Thank you, bro.
when did that shift kind of happen for you, where you were like, are you so like I guess I'm kind of assuming you don't want to compete again. That's just how it seems.
Not
Like,
anytime soon. Not anytime soon.
okay. So
Uh,
how did that kind of like shift in your mentality happen?
okay, so like I was super into bodybuilding like as soon as I became a trainer,
Hmm.
and like that was my sole purpose. Like I want to be big, I want to be strong. That was my purpose of me working out. But like I guess like in 20, 2018, like when my pops passed away, and like I like all these bad stuff arise like out of the blue, like just randomly, like every like just like my life was becoming like there was a lot of negative stuff that was coming into my life, like a lot, like out of the fucking blue, and I didn't know how to cope with it. So like what I thought about, okay, like I'm not gonna drink, I'm not gonna do anything like that. Like what should I do? Like, let's at least work out. So from there on, like um, I stopped thinking about goal, like money wise, business wise. Like I stopped thinking about anything because I just really want to ground myself because I felt really lost, and I did that by working out, right? And that got me through the hardship in 2018, and 2019, and even right now.
Hmm.
So like I owe it to like the gym for to be where I am right now, because I don't know what I would have done I have not if I didn't take that approach during my hardship.
Yeah, yeah. I actually I fell in love with bodybuilding for a pretty similar reason, man, because I don't really have any plans to compete ever again, to be honest. And I don't think I did as well as I could have, because I just kind of, did everything by myself. But that being said, it was kind of like I was almost at one of the most depressed points of my life, and it gave me something that I could work on every single day, and something that I could track like progress with. I could see, okay, week after week, am I improving? Yeah, I am getting better. Well, what more could I do? Right? Like, it kind of gave me something when I felt like I had nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like to support what you just said, Mark, like I was super into bodybuilding too, but I realized when you're like super into something, and although like fitness is healthy, right? If you're super into it, it could sometimes be not so healthy. And that's what happened to me, because for me, like when I got super into bodybuilding, like fuck, man, like I wanted to do like whatever it took, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like when I did the show, that was natural. That was natural competition. So like I wasn't taking any performance enhancers, but like from 2015 to 2017, I was super into it. So like I started like taking like performance enhancers because I wanted to recover faster, so that I could train harder, so that I could eat better. And something that was supposed to be healthy for me started now becoming negative towards me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's like a pendulum switch. Like it's supposed to be positive, then it swung that way and became super negative. Then like all those crises happened, and like I guess it was a good thing because it kind of stopped me and realized, okay, like is 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 this really necessary?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, well, I think one of the sayings is like, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. Too much of anything is a bad thing. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I had a pretty similar experience. I know there's a lot of people that are bodybuilding and they can do it, I guess, in a healthy way and live somewhat long lifestyles. And, you know, there's always the argument of, what is life? Do you want to have like your life and fulfill your dreams, or do you want to have a long life and not take risks? There's a lot of different ways to look at it, but I just felt like I was sacrificing everything else that made me who I was and everything else that made me happy. Like I wasn't, treating people right. I didn't listen to anybody. I was only in a conversation to say what I wanted to say. I didn't really focus on anything other than my own world. And it kind of changed me, and I didn't like it. So I always just have the mindset of like kind of thinking like, it's not a bad sport. It's not like a bad activity. I just had a really piss poor relationship with it. And I think like that's just something like for me, I think it's because I have a pretty addictive personality. Like I don't drink very often either because again, it makes me someone I don't really like. And I see a lot of other people, they can drink and have fun and, maybe their friends like them when they're drunk. But if you ask a lot of my friends, like I'm not a really awesome person to be around if I drink a lot. Like it's not really the best. I get, it brings out my bad side. So I just don't have a good relationship with it. It's not for me, right? Like that's kind of the way I look at it. But that doesn't mean I don't have to, still exercise. I'm just not bodybuilding, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So
and,
sorry, go.
And it's I don't know, like I realized bodybuilding, if you want to be very competitive, it's a very selfish sport. It's a very selfish sport. And I was at the gym like every single day, putting so much time. And you get very narrow-minded because you want one outcome, right? And like exactly what you talked about, Mark. Like you don't want to like take the time to listen to your friends because you are so focused towards where you want to go, right? And I think it's not bad to have that personality trait because you do need that a little bit if you want to be where you want to be in life. But like I guess me and you we were very narrow when we were into bodybuilding,
Yeah, I get that like tunnel vision, right? Like you're just kind of thinking about, your next meal or the next time you're going to be able to get an 8 hour sleep so you can feel good, right? Like, cause I don't know about you, but sleep was one of the biggest struggles for me. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night, and then I'd be sore and grumpy the next day and tired. So like sleep was one of my main priorities, man.
Yeah, man.
I was like, no, I can't hang out. I got to go to bed. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. Like, I can't hang out, man. Sorry. I'm going to bed. I still do that sometimes though too, because if I don't have 8 hours of sleep, man, I've noticed I can't focus. I'm not only grumpy, but like I literally can't focus. Like I'll be lost in thought. Like I can't do it, man. I don't know how people function with less than. I guess I could do less than 8 hours pretty consistently because I can get away with like 7, 6.5.
Yeah.
But man, it catches up to me. Like even on Sunday, dude, I was out like a light until, I slept probably like 9, 10 hours, and I was like, yep, my body demanded that.
Did you feel good after that?
No, man, I felt so groggy. Sleeping too much is like worse, I feel like, man.
Oh, fuck, I know, bro, man. Like, man, I'm a Snorlax. That's the thing about me. Like, I know it's not good to oversleep, but I just love doing that sometimes, and just like that's my biggest one of my bad habits.
Don't you feel like kind of weird after? When I wake up, I feel weird. I kind of have like, I'm like not lightheaded, but like foggy minded. I feel like
very foggy, yeah. For
weird,
like,
man.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes me anxious because I can't focus on things and I get confused.
I'm like that too. Like if I oversleep, like it feels like my mind and my body is like kind of disengaged a little bit.
Yeah, you don't feel like a like full control.
Yeah.
So now that gyms are open again, what's the plan right now? Are you back to training people full time, or are you just kind of taking it slow, getting back into it?
Yeah, it's been good. Like all my clients, I love my clients. They're all loyal. So like I just started train my clients, and just getting back into it. And it's been great, man. It's been really good.
That's sick, man. So what's the next step for you?
My next step, I guess, is putting a little bit more attention to social media. Like I think I think I could provide a little bit more valuable content for people that don't know me or like want to get know me but don't know how to approach me, right? So like my to-do list is just provide more good valuable content in terms of fitness space for people so that they could realize how good it is and like how beneficial it is for working out for them.
Mm-hmm. And you were talking, like, again, this was kind of like a conversation we had before I started recording, but you were saying that you've been a little bit more like selective with clients and stuff when you are onboarding people to help them out with their fitness goals. Like, what's was that like one of the main challenges that you had when you first started being a trainer, or was
Well,
there like
like
other challenges you faced that were bigger than that?
yeah, well, like at first, like for me, when I was a trainer at Steve Nash, it was like the umbrella system. Like you had to cater towards everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Either you liked it or not. And of course, you have the freaking sales quota up your ass, so you have to uh, sell your service to the people that you don't think that kind of want it, right? So like as soon as I left the company, like I started switching my business strategy a little bit around so that I'm a little bit more selective, even though my business may not be as much as it would be at Nash. I think in long term that works out better for me because now I can train the clients that want to get trained.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they want to get trained, it shows me commitment, right? Like I can't teach someone how to be committed at the end of the day. I could influence someone, but if they're not committed from the get-go, from having a conversation with me saying that, oh, Sean, I need your help, it's not gonna do me no good or it's not gonna do them no good because they have to want it, right? And like I shouldn't persuade someone to have a personal training session with me. They should already have it kind of set in their mind that I need help right now and I think this guy could help me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they have that mentality from the get-go, like they'll do what it takes. And if they follow it, of course they're gonna succeed, right? So I'm very selective now, and it's been better for me.
Mm-hmm. Almost like you're not trying to convince people to do things that they don't want to do. You're trying to find the people that are like, hey man, I'm trying and I can't figure this out. So please help me. Like that's what you're looking for.
Exactly. Like, although in terms of like a business strategy, this may take longer. It's more like I'm not finding clients anymore. What I do is I've been providing content before this lockdown. I provide good content, and they actually find me.
Mm-hmm.
Like as funny as that sounds, and that's no advertisement. That's purely organic.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize the people that find in me, they're the loyal ones. They're the committed ones,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like my approach is a little bit different now. It's a little bit more passive, but it's been working way better for me.
I got a random question for you. Have you ever tracked the, like, because obviously you can kind of see, okay, yeah, this person said this was their goal and they got, somewhat close to it, or they got to it, or maybe they even passed it. Have you ever measured the amount of people that come to you and successfully hit their goals versus how many people you go to and approach that hit their goals?
That's a very
Have you ever
hard
measured
question.
that?
Yeah, that's hard to kind of quantify because, but if I had to answer that question based on what I saw,
Like, I was just wondering if you ever use that as like do you ever measure that? Do you ever?
I wasn't able to measure that. No.
It'd be interesting, man, because
Yeah,
I feel like my gut's telling me, man, if I had to guess, if someone comes to you, they're a lot more likely to hit their goal.
absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
like I
Because
think about the people that, sorry to cut you off, I'll let you talk in a sec, but I was just gonna finish this. I think about the people that, when I went out to a SkyTrain station or a bus stop or a mall, and I handed out, oh, come and try this gym out, and give them a 7-day pass. And they're like, I really don't want to come in. But then somehow we persuade them to come in and check out the gym. Like, they never end up joining. They just kind of think that you're weird or a shark or like a scumbag, like some slimy salesman. But
Yeah.
when people come to you and they're like, hey, like, I've been trying home workouts, or I've been doing like runs in the park or yoga, and I just can't like lose this weight. And, my wife has been saying how much she wants to go on vacation, and I want to feel confident and comfortable without a shirt on, whatever it is. Like, when people come to you, it's just so much more impactful, I find.
Absolutely. And like, yeah, man, it's like in terms of like that's a sales strategy, right? So like I realize like if they really don't want it, like they don't want it. But there are people where you have to, they want it, but they don't know how to approach it. Like if that makes sense. Like there's like, I realize there's two people. They like, if they don't want it, they don't want it. But there's the other person, they know they need it, but they don't know how to take action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're stuck in the middle. They're stuck in like kind of I like, dude, this is literally kind of the purpose of, why I like talking about these things, because, that was one of the biggest struggles I dealt with, depression, is I knew I needed help. I knew I needed to reach out. I just didn't know, how or who to speak to or where to go to speak to them or what numbers to call, or, I just didn't, there was almost like so much information out there that I couldn't like get through to see what I needed.
Yeah.
Like it was like there was a weird like almost a barrier. Not that like a barrier existed, but it just kind of felt like, there's so much information out there. I don't even know how to start. I don't know how to begin this process. And sometimes it takes like someone to, walk you through that process and be like, hey, this is, these are the steps that I took and this is what helped me.
Yeah, exactly. And like I guess you fit in the same personality as me too, Mark. Like for me, like one thing that I have very trouble doing is asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just my personality, but like I realize that it's not a good trait, man, because like if you need help, there will always be someone that'll help you out. But you need to initially reach out because they won't know if you need help or not, right? I think, and that's one thing that I've struggled to, is because I try to solve it by myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if how many people are watching this, but like I think seeking help is a sign of strength, not a weakness. So if you need help and you recognize it, there will always be someone that can help you out. But you need to take the step to actually ask for it, and I think that's the hardest part to do, right?
Yeah. 100%, man. And like one thing that I always thought of was, what am I so afraid of? And it really just came down to like, oh, I'm gonna be afraid of, someone thinking something negative about me because I didn't know something or because I couldn't do something. Like everyone has something they don't know or something that they can't do. Like that doesn't make you less of a person. It doesn't make you like have less value. Like the only negative side is really just you're not going to get the help that you need. If you ask for help, maybe someone will say no, but if you keep asking, maybe someone will say yeah, and you'll just get the help. Like it'll be like, oh, this is exactly what I needed.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I don't know if it's like I'm not like I don't have a psychology background. I don't know if it's like pride that you don't want to that you don't want to show your weakness, or I don't know if it's like you're afraid to get judged. There's like so much like psychological like thought to this process by just simply asking for help, right? Because of what you think in your mind, right? Or what goes in the back of your head of how you self-talk to yourself, right? But uh yeah, man, just sometimes asking for help is not easy, although it is relatively easy, right? So I think that's the reason why it's good that you have or posting videos like this, because they get someone that doesn't know you, Mark, right, might watch this video and they might start liking you, and the more they like you, who knows, they might approach you, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Or even like they might like I think it's important for, say like a trainer that's working in a commercial gym or a chain gym, if they hear like a story like yours, right? They hear, oh, this guy did leave the gym and then he did kind of struggle a little bit. And then, oh, by the way, now he's, making the same, maybe less, maybe a bit more. Like it's going to be more variable when you're by yourself. Obviously, it's going to be more volatile. It's going to be more up and down. It's not as steady when you don't have like a concrete employer, but you're probably happier now in terms of like, it's just a relationship between you and your client now. There's no third party, right? Your clients are probably getting, good results. They probably feel a lot more comfortable. Like, I think that you're just talking about the struggles that you go through and how you overcame them. I think that that's a powerful message for people. I think that that's something that people will hear and they'll think, this is something that I'm going through, or this guy's just like me and I can do that too. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that was something that frustrated me a lot actually for a long time, because I used to see people that were successful and I'd think like, what if I was like that? Like, what if I was like them? Or what if I was, born in a similar situation? Or, oh, they're so lucky they're in LA and they just have that like kind of environment around them. I got those thoughts and I realized, everyone's the same. We're all human. We're all the exact same. It's not like those people are different from us. It's not like, there's anything that separates us from them. Like they're
Yeah,
just like us. We can do that too. And I think that that's kind of what people need to hear, right?
absolutely. And it's just like, it's good to see people that made it, that are successful, so that it kind of gives you motivation. But I think it has to be in a moderation, because the more you see that, the more subconsciously you're gonna compare yourself to where you are and where that guy is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why for me, like social media wise, Instagram wise, I used to be really heavy into it, but like I keep it as a limit as much as possible, because when you're on Instagram, you see all those posts, you see all those people that made it, or like who you idolize, and subconsciously, either you like it or not, you're it's gonna compare towards where you are in life and where they are. And that's, you should never compare yourself, because everyone's different and everyone has their own path, right? And I think that's the reason, I think, well, that's one negative thing about social media, is because the more attention you have towards social media, you're not really living your life, you're watching someone else's life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like I think social media should be kept in a limited basis, because either you like it or not, you are getting influenced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even if you are just posting your own stuff and you're one of those people that's like, oh, I don't actually look at other people's stuff, I just post my own stuff, which is something like I claim that I am as well.
Yeah.
Even if you're like that, you're still, putting some sort of, even if there's no filter on your picture, there's some sort of a filter on it. You're looking for the best looking picture, or you're looking to, put in a caption that is going to get some attention, or, you're trying to make some sort of an impact on people, because that's what the point is, right? If you're trying to, build a brand or an audience. And it's hard to sometimes be authentic, right? Because
Exactly.
you want to be liked, right? Like you're not doing it because you don't want to be liked.
No, of
At the end of
course.
the day, you want to be liked by people. So you're kind of already, there's already like a filter on that you're looking through on your phone. You're like, oh, which picture should I use? Which angle would be
Yeah.
best? How can I help? So like you got to think of, your captions and what content you're putting in your post.
Yeah, that's the reason why, man, like I didn't fully commit to online training, because fuck, man, that shit's a turn off for me. Like the fact that you have to post good pictures, like you gotta set the algorithm right, so that you get a lot of likes, so that there's a lot of people that look at your stuff, right? And like it just, like, it's not authentic, right? But at the end of the day, you have to do that to get the likes, to get the followings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, I was just so heavily into it, like I realized, man, like fuck, like this is really turning me off, because now it feels like I have to compromise my personality just so that I could generate a little bit more traffic on my following, on my profile. That's the reason why, like, for my personal training, I just generally try to minimize it as much as possible. Maybe, who knows, maybe I have to do it again, but like I switched my strategy around, where it's like I'm focused on my guy when I'm with him for 1 hour, so that if I could focus my attention 100% on him during that 1 hour, eventually he's gonna get a good results. And if he gets a good results, eventually, you know, in his peer circle, maybe I'll get like a referral or anything like that. So like, what I'm saying is I'm going like 100% organic, although it's not the fastest route. I think that's the most best route in terms of long scale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think an organic foundation is the best way to go about anything.
Yeah.
Do you think with the way that social media is now, like obviously neither of us are like scientists, we can't predict the future and stuff, but do you think that the way that social media is now, does it feel like it's possible to run your own business successfully without having a presence online?
See, that's a very great question, Mark, because like I actually like I googled that exact question like a few months ago, because I really thought about it. I was like, fuck, man, like do I really need the social media to operate my business?
Mm-hmm.
And I came to a conclusion that depends on what type of business you're in, and two, if you don't like it, I think hiring someone to just do it for you is the best strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But in this day and age, if you want the income, the lifestyle you want at your own predictable timeline, yes, I do think social media is a platform that you do need.
Yeah, it's an essential service, eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like actually though, honestly, I kind of feel the exact same way. And I think that there is kind of like enough versatility in social media as well, that there's almost like a platform for everybody, right? Like if you like putting like a picture and like a long message that someone can like spend quite a long time reading, and then you want to have like lots of comments and be able to share that, then maybe Facebook's for you. If you're really good at art or pictures or videos, then maybe Instagram's for you. If you're good at speaking, or maybe talking's better for you than YouTube or making videos. Like there's kind of a platform for every form of communication.
Absolutely. And it comes down to which one that you find that gravitates you, right?
Hmm. Do you find like, because obviously Instagram's like the one where most people go to and gravitate to. Do you find like it's hard to differentiate yourself when you make like a fitness page? Because like there's so many people, like everyone has a freaking fitness page. Like people that aren't even trainers have a fitness page. They have, like everyone has it. I even used to post mainly fitness stuff as well, right? Like what?
Yeah.
Like how do you kind of differentiate yourself?
So for me, like what I do, my approach is I have my account, and it's not just strictly towards fitness. Like it's like my whole life, like what I do on a daily basis. But of course, what I do on a daily basis is working out. So like I want to show a glimpse of my life, of what I think, what am I doing on a daily basis towards my followers and towards people that are watching my channel. So like it's not just fitness. It's more like this is Spark, like 24 hours. This is what he sees. This is what he likes. This is what he eats. This is what this is what he does. And from there on, like what my approach is, like I want my followers to like have a sense of, okay, like he's no different than me kind of thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And from there on, they'll like DM you saying, hey, I like that. And from there on, you can have a conversation. Hey, like, well, do you need help with anything, right? So that it becomes as organic as possible. Instead of, like back then I used to be like, try this like super shake. You'll get like fucking rip the shit. Like, like how those like marketing schemes out there right now nowadays, it's like, it's just like, I used to be like that. So I'm not going to say shit, but like, for me, for what I'm trying to do on my account is I'm trying not to market anything. Like,
Right.
I'm trying not to be like, okay, like if you get this, my promo code, try this and you'll get ripped. Like I'm very careful of marketing stuff. It's more like, hey, this is me. This is what I'm doing on a daily basis. If you want to follow me, go for it. If not, it's all good.
That's sick, man. That's sick.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like since I met you, you've done so much like mental development. You almost like literally seem like a different person than when I met you, man.
Yo, you need to elaborate, man. I like that.
Well, I feel like you're a lot more patient. You're like, you spend a lot more time on, I feel like you spend a lot of time on trying to, you're like, obviously progress yourself and have like self-development, but like actually figuring out how things will work for you, right? Like instead of like, oh, I'm going to do this meditation because everyone says I should do meditation. Like you've figured out a way to do it your way. Like you figured out a way to find your own way to do it. Like I feel like that's something that, I don't know, maybe I just discovered that about you in the last couple years, but I feel like I didn't know that about you when I first met you. Maybe I didn't know you well enough, man.
Yeah,
Were you
it's
always
funny.
like that?
Yo, it's crazy how you say that, Mark. Because for me, like, I'm like the type of guy, like, if you're my boss or if you're my teacher, hey Sean, like, this is the equation, do it, and you'll get the answer. I'll do it, but I'll do it like in my own style.
Mm.
Like, I'll do it. Oh yeah, I did what you told me to do, but I did a little bit differently. It's not that like I'm rebellious, oh fuck, how do you pronounce that? Rebellious?
Rebellious?
There
Yeah.
you go. Fuck, Asian genes right there, bro. But it's more like I like doing it my way. Like it's like no ego aside. It's not like I don't like listening. It's just like I like to find or tune things into my own thoughts. And it's more, I learned better doing it that way. Even though it may take me longer, once I learn it kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think like have you literally always been like that, do you think, or do you think that there was like an event or something that made you kind of like that, or like just like kind of more independently thinking?
I think I was always like this. And now I'm discovered now, the older you get, the more you realize about yourself. And like I realized, I think this is how I operate.
Mm.
So like I think that gives me great power, because now if I see other people doing the same way and they get the same result and I don't get that result, now I don't need to say to myself, fuck, I'm an idiot. No, it's not that I'm an idiot. It's just I'm thinking a little bit different than these guys. They're just doing the same thing. I want to do it a little bit differently.
Mm.
So now if I realized that about myself back then in high school, fuck man, like I think I probably would have got a bachelor's degree. But like when you're in high school, when you're in adolescence, you don't know about yourself. You have hormones, you don't even know how your brain thinks. So like when I see my friends doing really good in high school, like they're getting like straight A's and stuff, and like me, I'm really struggling with like the first page, like that killed my self-esteem, right? Because when you're at the age, you're comparing yourself with your best friend and you're like, you feel like an idiot. I think that's why if I known about that by myself when I was earlier, maybe my life would have been a little bit differently.
Yeah, man. I felt like that in math class when I was a little kid because I couldn't do the multiplication charts as fast as everyone else, man.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I hate this timer. It just gives me anxiety. Like, I didn't know what anxiety was, but I would just be like, man, I hate when we have to do this. I just get sweaty and my heart pounds.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't know how to do it as well. Like obviously I can multiply. I have a phone, but like you know, like I just couldn't do it in my head that fast. But that's nuts, man. It sound because were you always into like more like self-reflection and self-development as well?
Like I was never like I wouldn't say I was always into it, but like if I have to see it now, like I wouldn't search it up, but it was more like I would subconsciously do it,
Mm-hmm.
and to a point where now if I look at it, okay, like I kind of was doing what these guys were talking about, like these like psychologists and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Do
Yeah.
you look it up now? Is it something that you actively like look into a lot?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting. It's very interesting, and like um, it's it's very important to read what the psychologists say too, but also instead of absorbing everything, you have to read it and you have to think to yourself, okay, is this legit? Does that sound right to me?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the most important part because you know what? Like for any occupation, man, there's good trainers and there's fucking bad ones. Same thing for doctors. There's good ones and there's fucking dumb ones. And
Mm-hmm.
same thing for psychologists. There's good
I
ones
think
and
just
there's
humans in general.
exactly.
There's
So
some
you have
people that are really smart and some people that are not as smart.
yeah. So like I think it's very important to find like there's so much freaking information on the internet. It's endless, but you need to dig a little bit deeper and question the person that's uh publishing it too, right? Instead of just reading it and soaking everything in.
Yeah, or some people might have their own like agenda, but I think that you know everyone's got their own area of expertise. Just some people might have a bigger area of expertise, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
I guess that'd be like the nicest way to say it.
The nicest way. I know
Yeah,
you're trying to say. Yeah,
the
maybe I was a little
nicest
bit too
way.
blunt, bro.
No, no, no. I'm just trying to say like I felt dumb before, so I don't want someone to be like, "Oh, that guy, he's saying that there's dumb people, so maybe I'm just a dumb person." I'm just trying to say, yeah, you're right. There's
Ah,
some people that are better at their jobs than there are, you know, like there's some people
yeah.
that are exceptional.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah. Maybe that was a bad approach, but I'm not saying I'm a genius. I'm a freaking dumbass too.
no,
But
no, I
like,
agree with you, man. I
yeah,
100% agree with you.
yeah,
There are people that are better at their jobs than others.
yeah. You
We
just
take
need.
we take the same stance there, man.
Okay,
That's for
okay,
sure.
cool, cool.
Uh,
Yeah.
did what made you like interested in looking into self development? Was there like a time you were kind of like going through something, or was there like something that you were looking for? Because for me, it was because I just never really felt like I had joy in my life. I felt like I was always longing for something more. And so that was kind of why I was more interested in looking into it, because with my depression, I just, didn't feel whole. I didn't feel complete. So that was why I started looking into it. Did you have something like that at all, or something similar, something different?
Yeah, yeah. I think I was exactly like you too, right? Like I think to a certain degree, I think everyone has a depression. Like I think everyone could be depressed, but I think people that could learn how to cope with it in a positive way, I think they could get out of it much faster than people that don't know how. So like yeah, I guess in terms of self improvement, like of course there were days where like I wasn't feeling good or I felt like um, the thing that I was doing was meaningless. So like I did search a little bit about like okay, like what are some self improvements? What are some strategies to become better?
Mm.
And I think regardless if I'm having a tough time or a good time now, it's just like it's something that I proactively do because who doesn't want to become better,
Mm.
right?
And so what would you say is like the biggest thing that you got out of looking into these types of things or educating yourself about them?
I think one, if you're searching about self improvements, read as much as you can, but also read it in a grain of salt. Like if you read something and if it doesn't sit right with you, kind of question it, regardless if that person has more knowledge than you or experience, because uh, what that person thinks may not work with you, right? Or what that person is telling you to do may work, but maybe you need to switch it around in your own style, right? So like, do the research, read as much as you can, but like it's good to analyze what you're reading at the same time instead of reading it and saying, okay, like this is what you need to do. Okay, I'll do it. Instead of doing that, just read it and to be like, okay, like this guy wants me to do this and it'll make me feel better. Then ask yourself, is that really gonna make me feel better? And you'll probably get an answer in your head subconsciously. Yeah, I think it'll make me feel better. Then try it, right? But if you get like an answer in your subconscious where it's like, I don't know, man, that seems a little bit sketch. Maybe you shouldn't do that then, right? Maybe you should just leave it aside or ask that question later until you get a different answer, So it's just all about like absorbing the information, analyzing it, and just if it sits right with you, take the action step.
Nice, man. Well, we're coming up on it's an hour and 20 minutes. You and I have been chatting now before I started recording. It's getting kind of late. It's Monday night. It's almost 9 o'clock, and I gotta start getting ready for bed, man. I'll be 100% honest.
Yeah, man. No worries, bro.
But I'm gonna pass. Well, I guess you were already talking, so I'm gonna let you keep the mic. Before we leave, I do have a requirement for everybody that does this with me. First, you can go off and again, shout out your Instagram, but you need to leave the people with a positive message, something that's going to make them happy. So I'm going to pass the mic over to you, shout your Instagram, and you got to give everyone a positive message, man.
Yeah. No need to shout my Instagram, but like a good positive takeaway from this is, I'll try to make it very simple, is if you need the help, just ask for help. Because I believe that like human being naturally, everyone has a good soul. Everyone has a good heart. It's all in your head. Like I know maybe if you asking for help is not something that you normally do, don't worry. It's not because you're weak or anything. It's because you want to become better. And the fastest way to do that, if you don't know how, is just ask for help. So my cue is if you need help, ask for it.
That's beautiful, man. I completely agree. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is ask for help. Like, and that's, it seems like it's the easiest part because all you have to do is say a question, right? It's relatively easy, like you said earlier, but that's the biggest thing right there is taking the first step, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, whether it's, a weight loss goal, like 100 pounds of weight loss or 20 pounds of weight loss, or it's just, hey, I want to get better at reading, or I want to get better at, running, whatever it is, like just ask for help because there's someone out there that's going to know a bit more.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, let's wrap it up now. I'm going to end this recording, end this video. Thank you so much for everybody watching. Thank you so much, Sparky. And go and check him out. He's going to be able to help you out with any of your fitness goals or just building positive habits.
It was good talking to you, Mike.
Peace out.
Mark.
No worries, man. Peace out.